We have come at a very interesting point in the discussion this morning, sir.
What was that, sir?
About time,
Oh, well,
about the past, you said.
I don't know if you want to discuss that kind of thing or...
I think whether Anandamurti is a writer,
No?
he's a novelist and a writer, and I thought we had come to a point which brought us to the matrix of the field of creativity. Because really, if you can be free from the past,
So aren't we, if I may begin again, aren't we concerned with the total change of consciousness in which is included action, or the whole gamut of human existence with all its varieties and complexities? And we are asking ourselves if that complex could be changed, mutated, transformed, whatever you like to use the word. Is that possible? Or must we go on in the same old way we have been going on, certain modifications taking place, minor changes in the structure of society, and so on? I don't know how you regard all this. Do we inquire into the necessity and the immediacy, because it's fairly urgent, considering what is happening all over the world, the rapidity with which everything is moving, both technologically, in every direction almost, except human beings. Is it possible to bring about a deep psychological revolution? That's the point we've reached, right, Achuji?
yes, I think very good.
And what is the action or non-action with regard to it?
So in what are we trying to bring about a change?
What?
In what are we trying to bring about a change? In values? In relationships? In what are we trying to bring about a change when you talk of a deep change in the heart of consciousness?
No, just a change from the known, this area, this ground of consciousness, to another known. And if you change it to another known, will it not be more or less the same pattern repeated? You follow that? Can this consciousness of humanity, of which I am, I won't use the word representative, where is that chap? Gone. Can that, with all the complexity of it, can there be a change in itself, not from this to that? Right? Am I answering your question?
In a sense you are, but when you say change in itself,
My exploitation of another man. I'm taking that. My cruelty to another man.
you mean the capacity to exploit undergoes change?
The capacity to No.
That is, it seizes that which is in me, which demands or urges me to exploit another in order for self-interest, in order to sustain the self. That is ended.
Sir, come here, sir, because you're in the way of the camera. There's plenty of room here, sir. Thank God I'm getting off the platform. I mean, historically, this idea of exploitation has existed right
Yes.
through ages.
So when you say a change in the depth of consciousness,
And yes,
what are you talking about?
yes,
What is it
yes.
exactly?
And
like?
my one's consciousness is made up of all its content. Right? If you
Yeah.
agree to that. My consciousness as a human being, not as K, as a human being, its content is the action, non-action, jealousy, hatred, violence, brutality, anxiety, guilt, and exploitation, to use another word, exploitation, authority of knowledge, authority of position, authority of money. All that is my consciousness. The contradictions, the aspirations, the desire to move forward, all that is the content of one's consciousness. And can that transformation, can that consciousness undergo a radical change? That's all I'm saying. If we don't, we'll be going in circles. Better circles, better structure, and so on. But the phenomenon of these varieties of content will continue. It may modify, it may change, it may subtract, and so on, but the matrix of it will continue. Throw in a spanner, sir.
No, sir, this is certainly one issue, but I think you can discuss this, in my view, meaningfully only if you take up another issue. The other issue is there is exploitation in the structure of society. It has nothing to do with one's own consciousness. A person can have a very pure consciousness, he can still be an exploiter. Now, I don't have to explain this in very great detail, but the way society is organized, the way capital accumulates, the way exploitation takes up surplus from other people, this is an organizational dimension. Now, if you work on internalizing it, saying it's only in my consciousness, I think you are missing a point. Not to say that what you are saying is not valid. It is valid, I am not questioning. But you should also say that there is an external aspect to exploitation. Now, if you think there is not, I would like you to say so. And
No,
explain to us.
I think my consciousness is like the sea, like a tide going in, out, outside and coming in. It's this constant in and out movement, interrelationship with the outer and with the inner. Personally, I don't divide consciousness as the out and the in. It's like a tide going out, tide coming in. In that process, we have created a great many things, great many structures, great many artistic, and so on and so on.
So my friend, I would like you to examine this point, that during the last 50 years, a big change has come over us. The big change is that when I began 50 years ago in the study of socialism, etc., we believed in the possibility of creating a system in which these external forces of exploitation exploitation of man and man caused by the structure, by the system, could be radically transformed by changing the system. We have tried changing systems for the last 50 years, and we have found every single system again produces exploitation and the throttling of man's freedom. So that we have come to a point of sophistication where we say we can no more depend upon systems to cope with the problems of external order even. Because external order is inseparable from order within. And so long as the man remains unchanged, whatever the system he creates, it will be tainted with the taint of Cain. So, we have now come to a point of telling every system, we have looked at you and we know you can't deliver the goods. I feel that this advance in the thinking, in the thought process of man has closed certain avenues where he hoped he may be able to find a way out. There is no room for hope because we have seen that there are only different labels of gangsters. That through political power, we are not going to create an order for man where he can have a fair deal. And therefore we are thrown back, as it were, on the problem of consciousness. It is not becoming subjective, but it is a demand that unless there is a change in the psyche of man, all these systems are self-defeating exercises, self-deceptive exercises, perhaps fraudulent exercises for the deception of the unborn.
No, sir, I'm not the chairman.
Please, sir.
We're all chairmen, sir.
I don't follow this either or formulation because you are constantly saying either it should be a change in man or change in system. Now one can attempt both. I thought that was what Gandhi tried to do in the non-cooperation movement.
And what we have produced is this.
No, that is because of Gandhians, you see, not of Gandhi itself. Now he did try to say at every point that you have to change the man also. That means are as important as end. But he also was a political activist. He wanted to change the system. He wanted to do both. So I don't understand your either or dilemma in which you seem to have put yourself.
I have not put myself in any dilemma. I have seen that society has created for itself certain postulates.
Which society?
Indian society, Russian society, American society, human society, man, the world over, China. Each of us had our own pet dream world. We said, oh, this can happen somewhere else, but it cannot happen here. But today what we have discovered is, during the last 30, 40 years, 50 years, we have seen that each society has its own unnamed Stalin. Because it was Khrushchev who first started by accepting that his predecessor had killed 15 million people in cold blood. And when we had heard of this before, we said, no, this is an American lie. This is a capitalist lie. But it was the successor of Stalin who came and made that statement quite seriously. We could just not brush him off as an enemy of the Soviet regime, though they managed to get rid of him subsequently for speaking the truth.
Sir, may I ask a question? You may ask a question. Who creates the structure? The bureaucrats? The bureaucrats? The philosophers? The saints? The guru? Who creates this structure?
One does not have to create the structure. It gets created by human beings living in society.
That's all. That human beings in their interrelationship have created this society. Now we're asking, can that interrelationship which has created this monstrous society, immoral, all that, can that interrelationship be transformed? That's all we're asking. Because if the human beings remain as they are, more or less, the structure will be more or less the same, whether it's communist, socialist, whatever the structure. That's all now.
No, there is also, sir, I feel, one point which I want to make, that a large part of my energies have gone in the fabrication of models of social engineering. We felt that if we could organize human beings in a certain particular way, then we may create a material base which may help man to transform. And today we have to give up that, to say that this postulate has proved itself to be untenable. This calls for an act of renouncing something on which we had invested very heavily.
Sit. Would you say, sir, thought has created the structure?
Not entirely. Thought, yes.
Thought.
I would not say that the structure is a figment of thought.
No. I'm not figment of thought.
No, but one thing leads to the other, you see, so I have to stop you from...
Oh, you're quite right, sir, but I'm not saying... I'm
thought,
not...
it leads to the supposition that it's in thought.
Oh, no.
I hope you're not saying that.
I understand, sir. I'm not saying thought alone created this. I include thought in it, desires, sensations. Thought dominates these in the interrelationship between human beings who have created the society. So thought is very dominant in the total sense, not in a particular illusory sense. Would you,
Yeah, I'm going to proceed.
Wait, sir. Don't be contained, because we've got to break it up. I'm saying, can that thought be transformed? Which has created, in its interrelationship with human beings, this society which has brought about exploitation, war, the whole business.
Sir, can I put another question just to pursue this, but in the form of a question? Now you speak of thought so much. Now here there is a distribution of assets. Distribution of assets. Something very vulgar like money. Nothing to do with thought. Now I am a millionaire.
Wait, sir.
Now I am
The
a bond.
usage of money.
Money.
Usage of money.
Yes. Cash.
Tax. I
No,
know,
not
money.
Yes.
Paper,
Yes.
coin,
Yes.
money.
Nothing cyclic. Bank balance.
That
Now,
is the coin of exchange between human beings.
yes, but it has accumulated in one man's hand. Now
Yes.
I am born a millionaire.
Yes, sir,
Now,
sir, we'll go back to the same old problem.
Yes, I have to. Just as you
I
have.
agree, sir, but all right, then what happens?
I have to go back to my problem.
How will you change the system which is called capitalist system?
Yes, sir. That.
Wait, sir. So I know many communists. I used to know them.
No, sir, I'm not a
I'm not saying you're communist. I know that several of them. I used to know them.
or a Stalinist.
So I'm just saying, sir, how will you change that? Either through revolution, right? Right, sir?
Maybe.
Either. Which means physical revolution, or through propaganda, or through various forms of pressures. Right? One pressure against the other pressure, stronger pressure overcoming the other pressure. Now, who is going to create this pressure?
No, sir, if I may say,
Would we also put one more question? That just as you talked of the accumulation of wealth, have you noticed a new phenomenon of the concentration of economic and monetary power, the monopoly of all economic controls and all political power in the hands of a single caucus?
They got it.
And this caucus claims to be acting in the name of social well-being. Actually, what it accumulates in the form of atomic stockpiling, etc., is none of our business. That surely is not a philanthropic activity. You will concede. Now, what I say is that have you noticed that we are oversimplifying the problem by saying, let us be concrete, let us not bring in thought, let us be material, let us be on the earth. If we are, then we have to see all the criminality that has come to the surface in this well-meaning postulate of creating a system where concentration of wealth does not become a social.
no, but if I may say, we talked of money. Money is a very tangible thing. My relationship, my psychological response to money is what causes an accumulation. If I am a rich man, I want to get richer. The wanting to get richer is a psychological response to money, because money and what it can buy has no meaning left. It is a sense of power which comes with an accumulation of more and more and more. No one can deny that you need money to live. But the moment it goes beyond the level of wanting money to live, you enter the field of the psychological and the response of the psyche to this very material fact of, which is a symbol of money.
No, sorry, I'm not interested in this moral issue of greed or anything. I can come.
See,
No.
but basically that isn't that the issue. That it,
When you say isn't that the issue, is it your issue or
No, I have no issue.
That's what I'm asking.
no, I would
What do
say
you mean by
it
the
would be certainly my issue.
On that question, on that statement.
I'm raising another issue, which is a totally ungreedy, absolutely moral capitalist who just happens to have a lot of money. And he is not avaricious, he is not greedy. But by the very processes of society, money accumulates.
Otherwise he would give it away if he was not greedy. The very fact that he does not take the money and hand it over is a fact that there is something, some sense of power, some sense of the very accumulation of that, which is bolstering the self within you.
Now, if you wish to say that, this I understand is roughly Gandhi's idea of trusteeship. If you wish to say that by changing the consciousness of the capitalist, he could give away the money or become a trustee.
Someone else will become a capitalist then. If one man ceases to be a capitalist, as long as that instinct of the more remains, the other man will become the capitalist.
And he may be completely innocent, say, I am not the capitalist or anything, I will use this money for my own power as an agent of the state, as a commissar.
This could be the reason why the capitalist is not giving away money, so that he doesn't want to corrupt.
No, I am saying that you can change the labels, but the facts won't change. The fact is that the accumulation of money is used to exploit man. And system cannot change that.
Madam, may I have a question on what you said? May I do have...
Sir, I'm not the chairman.
See, what is it according to you that makes the human mind so soiled and spoiled? Can we go into that question itself? You
No,
are
but,
saying...
sir, that gentleman doesn't want to do that. He says money is the factor in our life.
No, I am making a comment on Madam's statement that it is the human psychology that manipulates this money and other things. Well, accepting that for a moment, I'm asking, can we look into the root of the question, why the human mind gets affected or it is so crazy about money?
So it can be money, it can be power, you can substitute one for the other. There are 20 things you can substitute.
Yeah.
But it's the mind wants to continually bolster up something within itself.
How can it escape when you have got the onslaught of money power? When you have got the temptation of money power? It is, see, till yesterday a poor man, today in politics becomes a very rich man, and with his riches he exploits the society. Democracy allows it. That democracy for which Achyutji fought for allows it. Then what is it?
So it may not be money, it may be power, it may be status, it may be various forms of authoritarian rule, right? But money has become important because that is there. Why not also add to that power, status, all that, gradation of hierarchical authority, whether it's money, knowledge, power, status. They're all on the same line. Agreed?
Yes, sir.
Now, we are saying, how can all this be transformed? Money means power, that's all. Money means a pleasure. Money will produce a status, a Cadillac, Rolls Royce, even Brezhnev. So, taking all that, how will we, well, if you are at all serious about the whole matter, how do we transform all that? So that human beings are not pursuing power instead of money. Instead of money, status.
Two things are there. There is the apparatus of power in the external world, in the physical world. But then the urge to dominate in me.
What?
The urge to dominate.
Urge to
use
dominate.
power.
There's the apparatus of power.
I can't because of this.
So there's the apparatus of power on the one hand and the urge to dominate on the other.
So there are two factors. One is social factor and another is psychical factor. So these two must be seen apart.
I don't quite follow this division.
Sir, there is the apparatus of power in society, and that apparatus of power is used by man. But man, as a human being, has the urge to dominate.
So why do, all right.
So these are two factors, sir.
But
No.
you can add the urge to dominate. You can keep on adding.
Yes, I don't see the
Yes.
point of this.
I don't think we are facing the central
No.
issue. And that is that with this movement of trying to tackle the problem of power, the problem of money, the problem of
I quite
domination,
agree.
is it going to be possible to bring about a deep change within man and within society? Or is there a totally different movement which is necessary? I think it basically that problem. We can keep on adding to it, we can go around in circles, we can. The answer and solution to man, and sir, I have always felt that this, but basically I am in pain, I am in sorrow, I suffer, and I want to be free of sorrow, suffering, hurt,
Poverty,
want
and all that, poverty, lack of
as
food.
it expresses itself in me, poverty of the human spirit which expresses itself.
Madam,
I want to be free of
Wait,
poverty.
I agree. Then the man says, not you sir, somebody says, food first. Right sir? Food in,
My priority.
what?
I mean, that's not, I'm only speaking for myself. Just as Mrs. Jacob says that her priority is to be free of personal sorrow. I'm saying my priority is to see that nobody is starving for food. I mean, I would put that as the first priority.
All right sir, what shall we do?
I mean, it's personal.
All
I'm
right.
not saying
Sir, what shall we do? We say these things. What shall we do?
If I may ask, How is this not clear? You must be doing something about it, as you are so deeply concerned.
Has not human society done something towards this all through the millennia of years? Whether it is perfect or not, that's a different thing. That has to be decided only in relationship to an alternative. Otherwise, there is no point in decrying what progress the human society has achieved through its trial and error method.
Professor Sanjeevi,
Yes.
I would like to say that the 10 million people who are starving in Kampuchea, they are starving in Kampuchea not because there is no food, physical, actual food available in the world, but we have created a system in the world in which we have conspired to see that millions will starve and not a dog will bark.
Change that system.
I am saying that if you make changing the systems as the central mission of your life, that is a self-defeating exercise.
So, who will change the system of
We.
Huh?
We.
Will we?
Yes, sir, why not?
Wait, I'm asking, sir, who will change the system?
People.
Huh?
People.
Who?
We, sir.
Wait, sir. You are missing. Who are the people who are going to change the system?
Now, I don't. Are you expecting me to name the people?
No. I'm not so stupid as all that, sir. Take it for granted I'm little intelligence. I'm asking, who are the people, not name, the mind.
The mind.
Mind in the sense, human beings.
Yes.
Who are the human beings who have been caught in a system, who are capitalist, socialist, all the rest of them, who are caught in a system, and those very people are going to change that?
Yes.
Change a new system?
That's what's happened repeatedly in history.
So what happens?
They exploited the proletariat, landless labor.
Yes, sir, we know all that.
I mean, you asked who, so please don't be impatient.
No, I am asking, sir, on the people who
These
created.
are the people.
Huh?
You asked who is going to change the system.
Yes.
I am saying these are the people.
Which are the people?
I was just mentioning the exploited people.
So, the exploited people are going to change the system.
Yes.
Which means what? They.
No, that's not a prediction. I am saying that change must come from those people.
Answer it, sir.
So as we do,
This is the most extraordinary. You mean the proletariat, if you use that word.
Well, I'm just using one shorthand word.
Yes, sir, Soma. Are going to change the system?
It is they who have to change the system.
Will they? Or because of their conditioning, will produce a system according to their conditioning?
Yes, sir, but when they produce a system according to their conditioning, this point is quite familiar. We'll have to change that system also.
So keep.
Yes.
That's all.
What is wrong?
It has been found
Oh, for
to
the
be
love.
a self-defeating exercise during the last 50
But
years.
actually, if they don't think that there is nothing wrong with it, there is no exploration
No,
as far as that person is concerned. What's the point?
Look, all that I am trying to say is that we have before us a certain postulate and the consequences arising from that postulate historically before us. And as scientific men, we must take cognizance of those facts. We can't run in the face of facts. The facts are...
No, but there's a belief in constant revolution. And nobody can deny
Nobody
that's
can
a conviction.
prove or argument.
You can't disprove it because
I think
What are we arguing about?
Exactly, sir. There is
I don't think you can convince
so.
I'm not joining this game, but I'd like to know what the game and the rules are.
Discussing together. Let us not try to blame one group.
No. It is not a question of group, sir, Professor Sanjeevi. What I am trying to say is that we should not refuse to look at the lessons of history.
Why do you so suddenly take a decision that this is a self-repeating process, as if you have seen all the eternity in its entirety?
No,
Your knowledge of...
I said during the last 50 years.
How can you measure with that little yardstick?
Can you both?
And even with that little yardstick, have you not found good things, progressing things, changing things, improving things? Is it so totally black?
Professor Sanjeevi, could I just meet that contention? I think any society, whether it's of now or of 100 years ago or 500 years ago, was divided in the sense that those who created the system, a few powerful people, the system always came to an advantage for them. The rest, whose desires were not fulfilled, a time came when the system could not contain these forces. Those people, they became stronger, and a new structure which fulfilled another set of desires came into existence. But still that other structure is bound to be in contradiction, because now some other desires are not fulfilled. So man continues to change structures after structures, with some desire becoming powerful. Just now you are saying the proletariat will change the structure. They will change the structure to suit their desire. Now at this moment they cannot do it, because the other is more powerful.
Yeah.
So in order to gain power, so that they can fulfill their desire, which means to bring about a structure of that kind, they will go through propaganda, they will go through killing, through everything. At the end of all this effort, what? Create a new structure which will suit another fixed set of desires?
Yes,
So that's the whole point, sir. That's the
So then we have not changed. What Krishna is saying is,
no,
we cannot
no,
change.
no, they are changing. The proletariat create a structure, and the other proletariat when the structure create.
Right.
So they keep. This is the idea, sir. A progressive, constant change of structures, right, sir?
But so meanwhile, the world is in danger.
And of course, the world is going to pieces. My house is burning, but I'm creating a new structure.
sir, aren't you suggesting, or aren't we asking at least, that can this battlefield that we have made this world into ever
Stop.
come to an end? We are asking.
I am saying, why not the battlefield continue? If that is
Oh
the
yes, sir,
nature.
quite right. Continue. I'm not saying why not. If that is,
question I am asking. Not
if that is,
about it.
if that is the human way of fighting each other, lower, higher, and the higher become the lower, and keep this.
Dialect.
No, but
What's going to happen, sir?
does one put an investigation into thought in contradiction always with something outside you?
What is wrong in that?
Nothing.
I say,
That's
is
what
it
I am
necessary?
I am asking, is this a divine?
Wrong and right, you have a
Professor
choice according
Sanjeevi.
to your knowledge.
Professor Sanjeevi, I have a question directly to ask. Is this a device to postpone forever an examination of the source of all this mischief, namely how human thought originates?
I am asking you, what is your authority and what is your knowledge to say, let this battle end here and now?
No, I am
How do you
saying,
know the nature of the human society?
We want to find it. We want to find whether it can end.
That's why I am not accepting it, I am asking it. I am questioning it.
So what are you questioning?
I am questioning. He says that this system of change of system should end. I am asking, why should it
No, I
end?
don't- I-
Why should it not continue?
excuse
I don't
me,
think it asks.
I did not say that. I said we can start at another end.
Can we start
Can
investigating?
we start investigating the processes of thought as an alternative to this process which seems to have no beginning and no end?
Then that alternative must be taken first, explained in detail,
That's it. That
then
is
we
what I-
should give up this.
No, don't
We
give
cannot
up
We
anything.
cannot give up the present thing for some anticipated thing about which we have no full knowledge.
No, I don't think anybody is conducting propaganda to ask you to give up something and take on something
No,
else.
no, why do you introduce the word propaganda? Did I say that?
No, I'm saying it.
Why do you say? then you are causing an insinuation.
I'm saying, conversion, if that word is better, persuasion, if
No
that word is
question of
better.
conversion. We are just trying to find out what is the best, what is the right action. When you say,
Are you, yes, sir, forgive me. Are you trying to find out what is right action? Knowing, this whole business.
I think everybody tries.
Is that right, sir?
Trying that.
I think, sir, we are all very serious.
Huh?
We are all quite serious.
Now, so would we say, are we trying to find right action so that this cycle doesn't go on and on and on?
Now, well, you have defined it as a cycle.
I won't, all right, I don't call it
Now,
cycle.
you have introduced the word cycle.
Yes, sir, because that is
I
called.
reject that word.
All right, reject it, sir,
I
reject.
think it's an improvement, it's an evolution.
Give me another word, sir.
I don't think it's a cycle.
Huh?
I do not think socialism is a cycle. I think
Sir.
it's an evolution.
Eh?
It is an evolution.
All right, doesn't matter. I'll accept your word, sir. Don't let's fight over it. Proletariat becoming the top,
No, it's not top.
and system. Top in, no. All right,
And
all
the
right.
cycle remains constant.
All right, sir. All right.
So we are thinking of something rotating.
No, I'm not.
Or a continuous, shall we say?
There is proletariat creating the system,
A classless society.
classless society, and
So
then
nobody is on top.
and that's what we say that.
No, sir, that's the ideal. Just as you have an ideal of doing.
I don't have an idea.
No, sir, there is an implicit ideal.
I
It's not that
am,
Mr. Butler-
forgive me, I am talking for myself.
Okay.
I have no ideas, no beliefs. So I say, must this go on forever and ever and ever?
What is this, sir?
This change of structure by the law, which will again introduce the law.
Why do you say so, sir?
Because human mind, human ambition, human desire, it wants power, right? Position.
Yes, sir. Then at that stage, the fight will have to be against power.
Huh?
At that stage, the fight will have to be against power,
Yeah, so that's what I mean, step by step.
step by step.
Huh?
But at each stage, an improvement.
Yeah,
Not a cycle.
no, sir, don't repeat words, I withdrew that word, sir. So it means gradual process of evolution.
Right.
That's all you
Permanent
want.
revolution.
Huh?
Permanent revolution if you want.
If you like, permanent. Who
No,
was
but
it?
it's just a phrase. Some people like it.
I don't like it any more than you like it. You used it.
No.
So we are saying that this movement will go on. Then what is the question? If that is inevitable,
I'm saying it is also necessary.
yes, inevitable, necessary, etc. What are we talking about?
Maybe the word revolution is not a good one because revolve means
Yes,
go
sir.
round, it's like a cycle, which you don't want.
I didn't want to contradict him. No, but I wanted exactly. So this is that's how we are. Don't let's be clever, sir. Please, it's not a question of being clever in this matter. I want to find out, sir, as a human being caught in this structure, capitalist, socialist, whatever it's going to be, what is my right action? Not mine, because we've been through that. What is right action?
So may I
Say
say
anything.
what I feel about it? The moment you say right action, your choice is
Huh?
there. Your choice is there. Your choice.
Choice.
Then we have to discuss that first.
Wait, sir, we're going to, sir, we don't use.
We say something as a right action.
We're going to
We
find
as
out.
against something as a wrong action.
No, I don't.
Then that must be explained.
Yes, we'll explain it, sir. We'll go into it. That is what you want. Why do we have to depend on time, which is evolution? Right? Right, sir?
Society lives in time.
I know, sir, please don't tell me all these things. I know this, sir. You're making the obvious remarks, but I'm just saying. Sir, please, I know this. So let's go a little bit further than that. I said, this means time. Will time really solve the human issue, interrelationship between human beings, which creates whatever society, whatever structure? So will evolution bring about that? A correct, happy, all the rest of it, relation between human beings.
It may be.
Huh?
It may be.
Maybe. That means you say time, distance will produce this thing.
Maybe.
Maybe.
You don't know.
I'll wait some. Perhaps somebody says that may not. Time will not produce it.
Sir, it is time which has produced this situation.
Yes, sir.
So time could also produce its remedy.
So the same thing, sir. Time, my lordy, we are quibbling over words, sir. Time is evolution. That evolution, we say, is taking place. Now I say to myself, will time, that is from here to there, a movement, will that time dissolve all these human problems?
Not time alone.
Wait, sir, please, sir. Time means, I needn't go into all the details, must I? So will time, which includes everything else. If you want me to go into all that, I would. I want to cut it short and say time. Will time bring about the change of man? You know, we've been through that this morning. That's all my question.
But there is no other movement available.
Yes. So what I'm asking, what are we to do?
Except the movement which we know, which is time.
Yes. So what are we to do? If that's the only movement we know, why don't we begin to inquire if there is another movement? That's all. I'm not saying there is or there is not. Right, sir? Our minds are conditioned to this evolution. And I say, is there a different approach to this problem? That's all.
So, but we can examine that, sir, very well.
Huh?
We can examine that very well, and we should examine that.
Oh, yes, I examine.
We are with an open mind. But we should also be convinced of that alternative.
It's not alternate.
What else, sir? Already there is something as a fact, as you used to say.
I still say so.
Now something else you are saying, which to us or to many millions is a non-fact.
Sir, I did not say so. Sir, this is a fact, right? Evolution.
Time, evolution.
Time.
Yes.
That's a fact.
Yes.
That has not changed man.
Yes.
Right?
Or it changes slowly. I make a sea of
right, sir. Slowly, we suffer, we go through agonies, slowly. And I say, I'm just asking, sir, is there another way?
You can ask.
That's what I'm asking. Right, sir?
Certainly not.
I ask not as an intellectual thing. I say, is there a way of a process by which I can jump in a different direction? You understand, sir?
No, sir.
For God's sake.
Are you putting this question to somebody else or to yourself or rhetorical?
To God.
To God. Because actually said, what is our relation to time?
Yes.
And God doesn't answer.
No, sir. It not makes sense. I'm not able to follow. I'm a little unsettled. What is alternative to time? Whom are you asking?
But have we ever asked oneself that question?
No, that doesn't arise at all, ma'am.
No, it
Now
does
we
arise.
I'm challenging.
in order to conserve time,
No,
Sir,
it is
sir,
not a question of
Just-
reading the history of the human
no. He has asked a
race.
question. He said, I'm challenging.
Now, straight away we can answer it. We can try to find an answer. Why should we pose a question whether people have thought about it or not?
No, I'm not asking you. I'm saying he's posing a challenge. Okay, is it possible to find another way?
Yeah.
Now, I don't know that way,
Yeah.
but the challenge is posed. So there has to be a state of mind which can inquire into a challenge without knowing its response.
Please repeat that sentence. Yeah.
There has to be a way of investigating a challenge
Yeah.
without knowing the response. If you know the response, there's no challenge.
All right. Nobody disputes that.
So let us go into whether one can be in a state where one can investigate without knowing how to investigate.
No, there is no dispute. Only when you raised a question, why shall we answer the question why it is not thought before?
No, I'm sorry, I didn't say that at all.
Then all right.
So what is the problem, sir, after all this?
So what is
So,
this movement?
we have no problem at all.
Sir,
No, sir,
just
I'm asking Krishna, what is
I
this
get
movement?
lost.
What is this movement?
No, I'm asking, Prabhuji, a very simple thing. We have been conditioned, our way of thinking is time, revolution, evolution, not revolution, which is circle, cycle, they're all the same. Will that change man? You say yes, gradually. Right? Perhaps. I'm asking, I challenge that, and naturally, in being fairly alive, I say, is there a different approach to this problem? Not the traditional time, the traditional slow process of killing each other, war after war, war after war, war after war. Is there an end to all this? That's all my question. I don't say there is not. I said, instead of always thinking in this linear line, is there? Let's inquire in a different direction, that's all. That's all. So I said, time is movement. Right? From here to there, both physically and psychologically.
Yes.
Can this movement, go slowly, sir, go slowly. Can this movement, which is the movement of thought, desire, sensation, right? These are the three things.
Ideals.
Huh?
Ideals and models.
Oh yes, sensation, desire, thought. That's what on which we live. Sensation of hunger, sensation of sex, sensation of various sensations. From that arises desire, position, power. Then thought creates the image and so on. This is the line according to which we have lived. Right, sir? May I proceed?
Yes.
No, not just you wait till you catch me up.
Now I would like to see where this leads.
Leads to nowhere.
No,
That is you are waiting to see where it leads. What does it mean? You are waiting verbally to be convinced.
No.
Intellectually.
No.
Then how are you meeting me? Just a minute, sir. How are you meeting me, sir?
Sir, you are making a serious...
No. How are... I drop all that. What is our relationship in communication?
Two people discussing.
What do you mean discuss? We are having dialogues, aren't we?
Yes.
Not discussion. Discussion implies offering one opinion against another, trying to find opinions in the truth.
No,
I'm just a minute, sir. Let me finish, sir. Discussion means that. Dialogue means, you know what the Latin word and all the rest of it, which means two logos words. That is exchange between two people, conversation, who want to find out how to act, how to live, you know all that business in a world that's catastrophic. That's what we are having now, as far as I'm concerned. Two friends, if we can call each other friends, can have a dialogue so that they come to not mere verbal conclusions, but the feeling that there must be some inquiry to find a different way of living. That's all. If you have definite opinion, I have definite, we're not friends.
No, I don't think I have definite opinions.
Huh?
I have not come here with definite opinions. What makes you
That's
say-
right, sir. Don't let's have all that, go through all that, pulling words out and changing words and all that. I'm just asking, there may be a different way in which time as a means of evolution doesn't exist. Maybe. We know this. Proletariat, the whole business of it. I'm asking, is there a different approach to all this problem? Approach. Am I accepting time and sticking to that? Or am I letting that conditioning, that time as a means of change, can I drop that and say, look, let's both of us be free of our opinions, our judgments, and let's inquire. Right, sir? Do.
I think it's time for you to stop, sir.
Already?
It's very late.
Well, what have we done now? Just pulled out words?
We haven't really started, have we?
Huh?
We haven't really started.
We haven't even started, no. Could we do that, sir? Not play. Actually, say, look.
Sir, why you keep saying don't play? Because I'm not playing. It's a bit of an insinuation.
Sir, please don't misunderstand me.
No, but if you keep saying don't play, don't speak.
Sir, please, sir. Two friends.
Okay. So today let's
Wait, sir. Two friends. He can use any word. Friends.
Yes.
Use any words. They understand each other very quickly. Right?
Tomorrow morning, sir.
So can we come to this point, not beginning all over again? I'm not asking that.
Same to you, sir.
Huh?
Same to you, sir. Don't begin all over again. Let's proceed with the sentence.
Yes. Let's go through all this. Start from this point. That can we investigate as two friends, I mean friends, not opposition camps, arguments and all the rest of it. Can two friends who are serious, who intend to find a different approach to this problem? Right, sir? Right? That's all. So it's one of the most difficult things for two people to think together, right? Right, sir?
Yes, sir. Both of them will have to try.
Huh?
Both of them will have to try. If two people have to think together.
Oh, I don't.
Both will have to try.
Yes, sir. I'm saying that, sir, for two people, for you and me, to think together. We can think together about something. Right? Right, sir? But to think together, not about, which is quite a different movement. That's all I'm saying. Right, sir?
But that has to be explained, sir.
Oh, madam. I'll explain it, sir. It's very simple. We think together when there's a crisis. Right? Tremendous crisis, like a war. We're all together. In our hate, in our patriotism, all that blah. Nonsense. That is thinking about. Right? I'm asking, let us think together, not about something.
How is that, sir?
Huh?
How is that, sir?
How is that?
How is that not to think about something, but to think together?
Must I explain it, sir?
Sir?
I also feel the same difficulties.
I'm also.
Because today you are thinking about change. You are not just thinking.
That's what
you
I.
had a subject, you see.
I know. That's what I'm objecting to.
Yes, but you started with the subject.
I know, sir. I know. I'm asking, sir, please. We're both give and take. We are used to thinking about something together. That's our common way of agreement, disagreement, denial, and say agree about something. I'm asking, is there a way of thinking which is not about something? You understand?
I'm willing to try it.
Not willing to try, sir.
I want to understand it, Mustafa. Then I will try.
Sir, have you understood? Please explain it. Sir, in our relationship, do we ever meet?
What does that mean, sir? No, I want to be very frank.
Oh, I'm sir.
Don't think I'm annoying
I don't know.
you, sir.
Please, sir. I'm not saying.
I don't want to
Please, sir.
be a hypocrite.
I'm just saying, two people, husband and wife, or two friends, can they ever meet about anything?
On something they meet and on some other thing they don't meet.
Yes, sir, I know that. Yes. When they agree about something, they meet. When they don't agree, they don't meet. That's obvious. So I'm asking, do they ever meet at all?
I said, sir, on some point.
I agree, sir.
Yes.
Don't
If
go
you
back
ask
to-
the question whether they 100% totally agree with
Of
each
course, sir.
other.
That is meeting.
That depends upon the connotation that we give.
I've made that clear, sir. Sometimes we meet, sometimes we don't meet. We agree, we disagree. But is there a meeting point
But the general
where there is whole meeting, complete meeting?
If you mean that, then that's different.
Do we meet a wife or a husband completely, ever, in our relationship? Right? That's all. So I'm saying, can we here, serious people, which doesn't mean you're not serious, meet not partially, half and
Do you
half.
want to post that as a condition for our meeting?
No, I'm not posing, I'm just asking, sir.
Sorry, sir, if I'm asking you a wrong question, please pardon me.
No, you're
I
not,
am innocent.
you're
I
not
am
asking.
frank. I am
Sir,
free.
I made it clear, sir. I want a friend. Can I meet a friend completely? Or only at certain times? Agreement, disagreement, all that. That's all. There's no trick behind it. Like you and I, sir, can we meet? Not at the verbal level, at the argumental level, not at the saying this right, this wrong, this should be that. No. Meet as.
Can you explain this word meet?
Meet means love. You might spit on that word.
No, sir, here again,
Sir.
I thought we were in a state of love all the time. There is no disagreement about that.
Now, sir. Now let's be clear. I wonder what we mean by love.
Well, we were engaged in the same activity.
Is that what you call love?
One attempt at another.
Is that what you call love?
Now what? Let's come back to meet.
To meet, sir.
Because you were using
Two minds, two hearts, two people meeting. Not sexually, they only meet there. But I'm not talking that.
No, I am assuming you are not talking about that.
Obviously.
Yes.
So, I'm asking, if we love each other, where shall we meet? Not at Mylapore. What is our meeting place? Where do we... If there is love, there is no meeting place, is there? We are there. Am I being sentimental, romantic, blah, and all the rest of it?
You might be, sir.
Quite right, huh? So I am criticizing, I am looking ahead of you. Say, is my love merely sentimental, a romantic, an escapism?
Sir,
Avoid.
we were discussing a subject. We came for a discussion of the subject.
No, sir. That's what I'm trying to find out. How to discuss or have a dialogue about something like, if there's a different approach to this problem, what is the quality of our minds, yours and mine, and his and hers, which meets, which can inquire into this? You understand? You understand my question, sir? Two friends.
I understand this question, but I don't see the connection between this and love.
What's the connection between love and this, is it?
Yes.
What do you think there is a connection? Wait. Sir, wait. Sir.
You make the connection. You don't put that on me. I don't.
We are two friends.
Yes.
Don't say I put it on me.
No. That's what it is.
No, sir, I won't admit that. I won't admit. Two friends. No, don't brush it out. We are two friends. I start on that up. We are two friends. And I say, we start with that, friends, which means affection. Right? empathy, love. Of course, I'm not your friend if you hate me, or if you're jealous of me, if I'm seeking power, etc., etc. So, we start on that. That is the basis of friendship. Real friendship, not just convenience and all the rest of it. Real friendship is that.
So that's what I meant by saying we are having it all the time.
Huh?
That's what I meant by saying we were having it all the time. Let's proceed with the discussion.
I question it. I question whether this kind of love which I'm talking about is there all the time. I don't say you're not right. Don't fist fight. I say I wonder. Not the love of Jesus and love of God and love of that. Love in which there is no jealousy, no antagonism, no division as me and you. What do you say, sir?
I thought that what you were probably meaning is resonating together. I think a question of mutual exploration of an idea often happens very nicely when, like two tuning forks, one struck, the other resonate, that you can resonate at different frequencies.
Sir,
I was just wondering whether that was what you meant.
Sir, you and I are friends. With all the meaning of that word, deep meaning of that word. I have a problem. I come to you. We discuss it, we talk about it. You help me and I help you to resolve the problem. Right? That's what we are doing. If that is the basis of our dialogue, all the rest of it, then we can advance. But if that friendship, which is not sentimental, which is not silly,
Yeah, that's good.
and the gentleman says it is there all the time. Which means we're not seeking power at any time, not here. There is no jealousy, no desire for position, all the out. If that's what we consider love, and it's all you say it's all the time there, you're a happy man. You have solved the problems. The proletarian, the revolution, you have solved the problem.
How does that follow?
So if I may ask, I have a, well, it's somewhat at a tangent. I have a question whether this love or this meeting that you're talking about comes during an exploration of this, or does it have to be there before you even start?
We meet as two friends. Otherwise, how can I have a dialogue with you if you are not interested in the dialogue?
Yes, sir. It is possible for people to be interested in the dialogue and still have ownership of ideas.
That's what I'm. If you have ownership of ideas,
you can't have friends. You can't have friendship.
Of course.
Yeah.
But sir, this dialogue is, the very nature of this dialogue is to understand that ownership.
Yes.
If you say, if you have ownership of ideas, you can have no dialogue, then we can't sit.
No. He has a different meaning. You explain it, sir.
I'm willing to look at the ownership. I'm open to the dialogue. There may be ownership, which I may not know.
Yeah, but there's still a willingness. Rajesh, the point is that there's a letting down of defenses to start with.
Quite right.
That's all.
Right? That's all he's talking about, I think.
There are no defenses. So we brought in one thing where one lives in time, in thought.
Yes, sir.
There is no love.
Thought isn't love. Right, sir?
So then you said, is there another approach?
So let's, Rajesh, let's be clear. Let's stop this. It's late. We have come to a point when we say, is there another approach to this problem? Right, sir? Leave love alone and all that. I brought it in, but forgive me if I brought it in. Is there a different approach to the traditional problem? Which is, revolution cycle, all the rest of it. Can we start from there tomorrow morning? Right, sir?